Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Duke CT, back with you once again this Thursday evening. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you? How are you? And hopefully you're having a great Thursday and all that good stuff. And I will be doing a preview of AEW's Revolution. Hopefully, this weekend I'm gonna do a preview and a review of it. So hopefully you will be enticed there, all that good stuff. Anyway, let's continue on the show. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, tell all your friends, share it around because this is a really good show here. Because right now we're going to be talking about Sony to lay off 900 workers from their PlayStation Division service. And that's not all because there's a lot more stuff coming out here because 8% of its unit workforce. Sony Interactive Entertainment on Tuesday said it will lay off around 900 employees in its PlayStation unit. Um, wow, this is a huge thing because many of the companies, people I think, including, let's see, I believe let's see if I can find the where the cuts are because I think Insomniac has taken some cuts here, which it just goes to show you that you can have the biggest game out there, and you're like, oh, I'm irreplaceable. Nuh-uh, not so fast, my friend. You are replaceable, and that's one thing people need to realize about all these other stuff here. Um, is that you are not um I always believe this, and you are not like, oh, you're not oh, you're like, oh, we're good. No, 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 no. You are replaceable. And let me just see here. Um, and it looks like people will talk about let's see. Yeah. That's not that one. Let's see. Forbes here. Let me see if I can get some stuff here. From Forbes here. I think he talks about how the Microsoft laid off last month over 1,900. One of the main issues of um these big bloated video games is that they're so you have to hit all these points. I do remember once upon a time um, when the Tomb Raider games were not, they sold millions of copies, and yet they were still failures. Um, you sell like 2 or 3 million copies to a game and still register as a failure, that means you have a problem. And it seems like it's still bleeding into um, in these other corners. It's bleeding into it's bleeding into this stuff here. It's bleeding into in these layoffs and bleeding. It's the same type of thing. You have to have these go big, go home, and plus the pandemic has delayed these games. And you sit there, you have to wonder. You have to sit back and wonder, everyone, what is the what's going to be the whole return on investment of this stuff? Like, why are they making all these new games? Making all this money. You're doing everything just to try to, you know, you're trying to build all this stuff up. This is to me, I always think it's a problem with these huge titles is that they're not actually going to um you're not going to really build up. There's no middle ground. It's either big Hollywood smash or you're done. Same thing's happening to Hollywood right now. When you look at some of these films, I mean, you look at these box office, it's the same thing Hollywood and video games are like intertwined with this. There is no real mid-market games, there's no mid-market movies because you don't really make money by doing all this there's no. You have to make three, four, or five times your budget. And when your budget is around like a million or like over like 500 million or 600 million, you get stuff like Mission Impossible got over $700 million, and it's still considered did it make money or not? What is going on? What is you know what is going on in your in this situation? You have this problem, and when you have this huge, massive problem, and this is going to continue to be a problem and continue to have these issues and these issues and it will continue to climb these issues because right now it gets worse because when you see what's going on with EA, let me just like for example, EA is laying off 600 and 700 workers, sunsetting games, and moving away from future licensed IP. Right here, this is from yesterday. They are canceling. In fact, not only that, they canceled a Respawn Star Wars first person shooter, which looked like to be so. This could have been really good. Um, and then you have the note of Andrew Wilson in this article saying this, and they're saying they're moving away from development of future licensed IP. And you have like the Star Wars and Marvel games in development, and then the third Jedi game and Black Panther and Iron Man, all these things. And now look at the Star Wars franchise. It is the Star Wars franchise, and EA bungled this by themselves. Because again, the two Battlefronts games, one was mid, and another one got so terrible that it actually got the United States government to actually start investigating the whole loot boxes. Actually investigating loot boxes. It actually got the United States government and some of the government officials to actually do something. They got the feds that actually saying we're going to look into this. You know how bad I guarantee that call from Disney, probably Bob Iger had to call them and say this ain't working, and they had to 86 that deal because of that. And now they're going to do his. They're doing now. They're getting rid of all this respawn, which is a shame because it's because again I haven't played the next one. I do really do like the first Outcast Jedi and everything. That's sort of that's my thing, and that's my worst, the worst case scenario and such. Because again, look, when you see this Kotaku article here, is when you see the first person shooter was been canceled as the publisher pulls back. It's they say right here the harder way to work from a project, and this decision is not reflective of the talent and the nasty or the passion they have for the game. Give the fans an extra iconic franchises that was is the direction of blockbuster storytelling right here. Blockbuster. Mm. I mean, they want these things to be the huge, again, blockbuster storytelling, trying to the box off all that stuff, and now it looks like it's just um this is the problem of these huge these mega corporations gambling the whole house and not only losing the house, they're just like they're basically doing all the stuff. I mean, now they're going to mobile stuff and MOD tap sports. They're trying to at least get they're trying to get their money back in these such. And they're gonna continue to this stuff. And again, look at this. I mean, they are have the cuts, the mass layoffs of studios. The cuts have roughly 10,000 developers in 2023 and approaching 8,000. It's gonna get worse. It is going to get worse because there's going to be a lot more stuff shutting down. In fact, you got it's so bad at this point. You look at Toys for Bob. Um, they're going to right now. It got to the point that they're going after all the Microsoft. There is some good news that Activision Studio Toys for Bob is going independent and such over here. This article here, this was today. The spinoff as an independent developer because of the sweeping layoffs has affected 86 employees. They had the choice to go to indie, were allowed to return to being a small, nimble studio. They were going to start. They're trying to get smaller and trying to police things and they're not going for the big stuff, and it's a shame because they did really good stuff with Spiral and Crash, and it's a shame that Crash they did not sell because again the graphics and everything else and the gameplay I enjoy it. It's a hard game and it's frustrating, but I loved it and I still love it. And the problem is that the one thing is that people didn't go out and buy it, and it's a shame because there was a lot of good stuff there, and it just and that to me is the main issue of this. It's one of the saddest stuff here. He was having, and it's getting to that point, and now they're going to go back to that. They're getting smaller and smaller, and once you have, and this stuff here is going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get worse before it gets better because once you have this industry continue 10,000 developers, 8,000, I think it's going to get over. I think by the end of this year, I truly believe that 10,000, it's going to get to 20,000 developers will be fired by the end of this year, if not more. And the reason why, because these corporations try to want to get all the money in these big mega blockbusters, and that's rare. That's super rare. I mean, not everything is going to be like Mario or Legend of Zelda or Call of Duty or, you know, insert thing here, a big mega franchise, Fortnite or whatever. Hell, the people in Epic Games have lost a bit of luster too. Lost to people, they're losing their jobs as well. So this is the beginning of the it's gonna get a lot harder to make these games, and I think hopefully looking back and see Sony and they're trying to calm down and such with the PS4, PS5. I think that's going to they're looking toward a new system. Xbox Series X, which some of their games going multi-platform. I think they're still going to be there, but I think the Xbox One really the whole Xbox One fiasco hurt them immensely, but they rebound with the Xbox um, Series X, but it's going to take a while to get people back on top with that. And meanwhile, Nintendo, which is going through some stuff, I mean, the Yuzu lawsuit and everything, but I think they're in the best position because they still have games coming out. They still have stuff. And by the way, what is the biggest game on the Nintendo Switch? The largest game size. I'm looking at this something right here. I mean, not just big stuff, but listen, the Tears of the Kingdom, which I'm going to be playing. I will be live streaming that soon after I finish Gotham Knights. 16 gigabytes. People say 16 gigabytes is big. Oh my lord. 16 gigabytes is big. It's hefty. That ain't hefty. In today's games, that is like that's kid size. 16 gigabytes is kid size. And I'm looking at this 16, 17, 18, 18.3, 18.4, 19 gigabytes. Now you're getting, it's not even getting close. 19, 20 gigabytes. That's just DC 20 gigabytes. Wolfenstein, Youngblood is 20 gigabytes. Again, small. Doom, 26 small. GTA trilogy, small compared to that. I'm gonna see. Let's see if anything gets to 30 or something. Apex Legends, LA Noir, 27. Doom. Finally, we got 32 gigs. Woo! Finally, that's a little bit like a small. It's just medium. We got them small to medium. We're at medium right now. Medium of stuff here. 5, Mortal Kombat 11 with all this stuff here. 3.22, and then Witcher 39. Let's see, we're getting bigger. Holy crap, 55 gigabytes. Oh my goodness. NBA 2, they actually got over 50. Yeah, that's medium. That's a medium here. And the Kobe edition is right pushing up there. 60 gigabytes. Wow. 60 big 61 gigabytes, man. Meanwhile, the average stuff here, I'm just gonna see this. Let's see. Do. If I can find it, I gotta find it. Let me find this. Let me see. Let me look at this. Uh, Let me just see here. Okay. Meanwhile, let's look at some of the Xbox. Let's see. Here it is. The big Xbox game. Let's see. All right. Let me share this thing. The Xbox games. Witcher. This is number 10. 40 gigabytes. Valhalla 45, Sea of Thieves 47, FIFA 50, Gears 64, Destiny Beyond 2 Beyond Light 65, Cyberpunk 2077 70 gigabytes, Dirt 72 gigabytes, NBA 2K21 121 gigabytes, and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War 190 gigabytes. Sweet Christmas, man. And I was like, people say, and it's not just the bigger games, but all the stuff that comes in the development time, all the money and market, everything to do all these big, huge games, these huge, massive, big old, massive games, all the developers, all the time, and everything else. You look at it and you see, and they're trying so hard to get to that brat like that, the huge, big payday, and more often than not, unless you are Call of Duty or NBA 2K, you don't get to that short. Sure, Cyberpunk 2077 can get there because of hype and paying everything else, which I still haven't played Cyberpunk yet. I will probably do it, maybe after, maybe even live stream it if y'all want me to. But yeah, it is a thing that I am just it's frustrating to me. It is frustrating because I am sick of these. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these huge companies, these big companies have taken these games and everything else like Hollywood. There's no there is, and I keep saying this, I will keep saying this until my until I collapse, ladies and gentlemen, until I fall and I'm getting just I am not. I'm exhausted, ladies and gentlemen. I am exhausted because these games, people should be. They are the problem, ladies and gentlemen. The real issue of this, the issue of um of these games and issues of all these situations. The main issue of these games is and they so is that they're too bloated, they're too big, and they are too big to fail, and they are failing. And I don't think they're gonna get a bailout, but you never know. You never know. You never know with these games. You never know with Hollywood or anything else. They might get a bailout. Gamers might get a bailout because the jobs or whatever. But that's what we are right now. Is that they're slowly but surely are going to get a bailout. We're all going to we are all going to the payoff of they're going to pay off their you know they're going to pay um all this stuff like the payoffs and everything else. I'm I'm just like personally I really don't like seeing how um these companies have been work I'm these companies who just really don't know how to manage their own money and such, you know, to manage their own like these corporations and such. And I hope that they sit there and actually figure this stuff out because again, once again, you have these issues, you have um these layoffs, and yet we still don't have an actual, um, there's no actual solution because, again, if they don't find this situation, they don't really figure out the solution is you're going to see these more layoffs. You're going to see more games being shut down, and you're going to s- still see there's nothing you can actually um, there's not, and there's going to be more cancellations and less games, and I think the gaming as a whole will suffer for it. But that's just my personal opinion. Want to hear what y'all want to say? Um, want to hear what y'all think thoughts about this because I mean, hey, that's what I'm here for. And next story here, we're gonna do something a little bit different, a little more. Oh gosh, this thing here. Oh gosh, this story. The whole story with Wonka and everything else. We will talk about this and everything else. We'll talk about that whole Willy Wonka situation from Glasgow and everything else. So it looks like it's going to be very interesting because that is a very interesting story, and I can't wait to talk about that. You next. Anyway, it's Duke CT here. We'll be right back right after this.